Do you have long-term insurance? If not, you may want to consider it. Egan, Berger Weiner LLC insurance agent Dave Beck is here to tell us why. Welcome back, Dave. What are the statistics of long-term insurance, and what are people thinking these days?
Well, they're kind of depressing, to be quite frank with you. I mean, right now, if you have a couple turning age 65, there's a 91% probability that they're going to need some form of long-term care services. You know, Meatloaf saying 2 out of 3 ain't bad, but, you know, that's your statistic of going into a nursing home for that same couple.
Right.
But yet, for some reason, only 10% of the elderly American population have long-term care.
10%. Now, when you say long-term care, I think people are not really sure what that means. Does that mean something that that I would use in the end of my life, or is it something that I would use if I was injured and needed long-term care?
It could be either. I mean, 10% of the current long-term care services provided in the U.S. are for people below the age of 55. Strokes and accidents and things of that nature. Long-term care basically is my inability to do things we take for granted, getting out of this chair, you know, eating, bathing, dressing, etc. But typically it's associated with more, hopefully, the end of our lives.
So do people not consider this because they're like, oh, that's depressing, I don't want to think about it, or I'm invincible, I'm not going to need it, I'll worry about it later? Does it
I think it's both.
Yeah.
I mean, nobody likes talking about what's going to happen. I'm not able to get out of this chair without somebody helping me, and it's not going to happen to me, and if I ignore it, you know, it'll go away.
So what is the insurance industry doing to either educate people or convince them now's the time to sign up?
I think the insurance industry is trying to change its messaging and its policies to say, you know, instead of it being traditional policies, now they're trying to get more inventive with their policies to make them more appealing to the masses, to say, one people's concern is, well, maybe I won't need my long-term care and it's been a gigantic waste of money, which is my hope for everybody. You know, it's a gigantic waste, so you don't want to win the bet with the insurance company on this. But you hope that a lot of clients are looking to say, you know, I want something back. So if I don't use it, it pays a life insurance benefit, or I can have access to my cash, or whatever it is. So the insurance companies are starting to get more inventive with the product packaging.
So what exactly are you seeing? That sort of moving money over to another thing, or is there something that you're seeing that you think, wow, that's a really good idea, people should be considering?
Well, everybody is different. I mean, it's going to be, anytime you ask a policy to do so many things, I'm going to have access to my cash values, I'm going to pay a death benefit, I'm going to pay long-term care. All three of those are going to be somewhat diluted, as opposed to if I just purchase a straight long-term care policy. But, you know, it's an individual decision. But, you know, in the end analysis, something is always going to be better than nothing, because the cost of this care is staggering.
Well, tell me a little bit quickly, per generation, what people should be looking for. If you've got somebody in their mid-20s right out of college, is this something they should be considering, or can they put it off maybe till they're married?
They probably can put it off till they're older. It used to be we would say, hey, this is something you've talked about in your 60s.
Wow.
Now, you know, I'm still currently 50, at least for another month, and I just got my long-term care, because it's going to get harder to qualify for these policies, because the insurance companies now are seeing the statistics, the same statistics that, you know, I was quoting to you. You know, they're seeing, and they're changing their underwriting.
So think about it earlier, but then maybe step into a plan when you're in your 40s, 50s.
At least, yeah, to step into the plan, or at least, you know, start making a plan. Whether insurance is involved or not, maybe it's part of your financial plan or your retirement plan.
Okay, so what about if we're sort of in that retirement age group and we don't have a plan? How do we start looking for the right one?
Well, you start saying, okay, well, listen, what can I afford? Can I self-insure this risk? Can I not self-insure? If I can't self-insure the risk, in other words, pay for it myself and still leave my spouse, who's going to be dependent upon these assets, to live comfortably, then I've got to look for an alternative. And, you know, how can insurance tie into this? It may not cover all of the need. It might cover some of the need. But, you know, whatever you can get, you know, it's going to help you in the long run.
How do you even shop around for something like this?
Typically, my suggestion would be you go see a broker. I mean, you can go online and try to do it yourself, but trying to navigate all of the various options and riders incorporated in these policies, go see an independent agent, and we have the ability to shop multitudes of companies, and we'll try and find the company that fits best for your particular situation.
You're making me very nervous about my future. So is that sort of the feeling I should go into this process with, or should I?
No, you shouldn't be. You can't be
like,
nervous about it.
The sky is falling.
Well, it is. It's depressing. But unfortunately, ignoring it's not going to make it any more appealing.
Right.
It just makes it so I don't have to think about it.
Well, I always have that, when there's a bad storm, I always think, I hope my home insurance is paid off. So you want to have everything paid off and be in a plan before you start to be put in these situations.
Absolutely. I mean, planning is always going to be the key here, and as long as it's part of an overarching financial plan, you should be fine.
Where can people find out more? I know you write a lot about this and give a lot of great analysis. Where can people find out about that?
They could go to our website and click through to our media page, EBW in the News, and take a look at those types of things, and take a look at some of the articles we've written in some of our past conversations.
Great. Thank you so much, Dave Beck.
All right. Thank you, Sonya.
Thanks for everything. Thanks for making it depressing, but we'll find the silver lining. More Let's Talk Live's coming up. Stick with us right here.